Coming up on Let's Get to the Points.
But first, let's start with Nicole. And I think I saw some Instagram video of you flying, but it wasn't in a plane, right?
Yeah, this is the best of the best. The first class of the first class. So you can paraglide in Cape Town, and the views from this paragliding experience are like no other. First of all, Cape Town has to be one of the most beautiful places that I've been to. And to see it from the sky is like exponential. I had to throw in a little math there. And this was only day one.
Would you say it's a prime activity?
It's definitely a prime activity. I saw what you did there, Miguel.
And later. And now it's time for Want It, Have It, Had It, or...
I don't know what good meh is. Someone tell me, what's a good meh?
It's in the face. It's in the expression.
So that part for me is,
I've had it, I have it, and I want it.
So I had it, I have it, and now I'm like, no more restaurants? Yeah.
Now, let's get to the points. She loves to pretend being a crazy rich Asian. It's Serena. Sometimes his journey is the destination. It's Miguel. She takes family budget travel to another level. It's Nicole. And he only lies flat over the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. It's Mitch Shannon.
Hi there, and thank you for joining us on Let's Get to the Points, video and audio podcast where we bring you the very best in tips and tricks in the world of miles, points, and travel. I'm Mitch Shannon, joined by my co-hosts who love traveling the world for pennies on the dollar using their credit card points and miles. First up, she loves traveling to places that are bug-free.
Yes.
It's Serena.
Hi, everyone.
The king of points deals. And have you seen his latest video, his quick hits video about Avios boosting? It's Miguel.
yeah, what's up?
And she's back, well rested, and she's already ready for her next trip. It's Nicole.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Please help us out by clicking the subscribe button now to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you watch or listen. Also, give us a like and leave us a comment below. And please let us know what you think about our show. Now it's time to do it. Let's get to the points. Another week has gone by and we're back here with you. We really appreciate you watching and hanging out here with us. So let's get right to it. Everyone's favorite game show is back and we're going to play it in just a minute. But first, let's start with Nicole, and we're going to pick up where we left off last week because I want to hear about everything that you did on your trip. And I think I saw some Instagram video of you flying, but it wasn't in a plane, right?
Yeah, this is the best of the best. The first class of the first class. Only the pilot is closer than we are.
You got to co-pilot too, right?
I did, right? I want to share with you some of the activities we did while we were in Cape Town. As soon as we got in, the first thing we went to do was we visited the Victoria and Albert waterfront. This is an area where they have shopping centers, the big wheel. They had street performers and different activities, and you had to take the iconic Table Mountain picture. We put this on our list because it was free 99. You just had to go and soak up all the energy, everything that was at the waterfront. So we took our Table Mountain picture, and I don't know if you guys saw here, but my son, he wouldn't even help me down from the sign. He literally let me struggle. He was like, don't you run marathons? You should be able to do this. There were some street performers there. They had a whole little concert, and it was really nice seeing this the first thing when we got to South Africa. We also got to see some seals, and they had a little I don't know if seals can have a cat fight, but they were having a little fight right on the pier in front of us. So that's something I would definitely add to my list because it's free to do. And because we travel fast, that wasn't the end of the day. We went to Gold's Restaurant in the afternoon. If you are going to Cape Town, you want to put Gold's Restaurant on the top of your to-do list. You have to make a reservation, and sometimes these reservations can be booked up to 3 months in advance. Now, the concierge at the hotels do have a few tables that they can reserve in case you had made a reservation, but put it on your list. So this is an immersive dining experience. They give everyone at the table a drum, there's face painting, and everyone is involved in the performance. So we spent about 20 minutes learning the beats to this song so that we could perform it for the dancers. And I know a Black girl is supposed to have rhythm, but somehow Somehow when God was making me, he skipped that part because I was offbeat like nobody's business. At Gold's Restaurant, it's an 11-course tasting menu, and they're bringing you meals from different parts of Africa. So if you liked one of the portions of the tasting menu, the waitress would bring you more of that item if you wanted to. We had a couple, maybe more than a couple, cups of ice cream. They had the cinnamon ice cream that was really, really good. And then they put a cookie in there in the shape of Africa. The meal for 4 of us was about $150. And I think comparatively to the US, that was pretty good. Definitely add that to your list. So that was the end of our first day. And I woke them up bright and early the following morning. And the first thing we did was we went to Table Mountain. This is an iconic place in Cape Town. It's actually one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. But here are some things you need to know about Table Mountain. Number 1, you have to check the weather. It's about 3,000 feet up, and there's this thing that comes in that's called a tablecloth, which is this thick layer of clouds that provides zero visibility. And unfortunately, the day we went there, the tablecloth was more like a blanket over Table Mountain. The good thing is that you can buy your tickets online, and your tickets are valid for 7 days. So if you bought it on Monday and you looked at the weather and it wasn't good, you can use it up until the following Monday. We had a packed schedule, so I was like, we're like Miguel. We're going to wing it. We're going to get up there. The tablecloth's going to go away, but it never moved. And also bring a jacket because it was freezing. The weather in Cape Town is unpredictable, and we were not prepared for that kind of wind chill. But after that, we decided to take on another mountain. We went down the hill across the street to Signal Hill, where I was co-pilot of my own parachute. So you can paraglide in Cape Town, but in order to do it, they have you sign a waiver saying that you are a paragliding student. I was like, I am? Okay, sure. You want to bring a jacket when you go paragliding. You should wear closed-toe shoes. And if you have like a bag or water bottle, the pilot will put it in his backpack, so you don't have to worry about that. But this experience was like no other. First, they are like, okay, you're going to run to the end of the mountain, where it drops down. And then you're going to keep running even as your feet are no longer touching the ground. I was like, what?
You do like running.
You do.
But I like my feet on the ground. So the pilot's taller than me, so he's running while his feet are still on the ground. Mine are like this, like in the air, I thought I was going to have like this sinking feeling, like when you go in a roller coaster. It doesn't feel like that because you're floating, you're not dropping. And so he took off, and it was almost relaxing until he was like, "Do you want to stare?" And I was like, "Sir, have you seen me drive?" And so you get to tug on, I'm not sure what the things are called, but I don't know. The steering wheel of sorts, but they're like strings that direct you like left and right. I think this is where we die. He was like, to the right, but I was pulling the left. He was like, no, the other right. But they let you steer for a little bit. They do a little turns, and I think it lasts about 10 to 12 minutes. And then you land at a place called Sea Point, and the views from this paragliding experience are like no other. First of all, Cape Town has to be one of the most beautiful places that I've been to. And to see it from the sky is like exponential. I had to throw in a little math there, but I mean, it's literally like you see on TV. And this was only day 1.
Would you say it's a prime activity?
It's definitely a prime activity. I saw what you did there, Miguel.
So, Nicole, have you ever been skydiving before?
I have not, but James has been skydiving.
Because I'm wondering if Cape Town is a good place to go skydiving too, since you say it's so beautiful.
So in my research, I don't remember coming across a lot of activities for skydiving. I saw mostly paragliding. So I'm not sure. I didn't see that in my list of things to do.
And I'm glad you touched on the whole floating thing versus the dropping thing, because I don't like that drop feeling. Because I've skydived before, and you do feel a drop in the beginning. So I'm glad that you said it's more floating. I'll do it.
Okay, good.
You've convinced me.
You have to do it.
So, Nicole, I have a little bit of a fear of heights every now and then. So you said you were comfortable doing this. Was it scary or not at all?
It was a little bit scary when I had to steer, because I was afraid of messing it up and pulling too hard and not pulling too hard. But once he took control, I didn't even think about it. I mean, Nyla did it, and she said she was fine, and she said she's afraid of heights. So I think you'll be okay.
And how much did you pay for this paragliding?
Paragliding was about $75 per person. You have to be 14 or older to be able to paraglide. And I booked it through Viator and I used the American Airlines shopping portal. So I got 12 points per dollar on this purchase. One good thing to know about the shopping portal is that you can cancel and rebook. So initially when I booked it, it was 8 points per dollar. And then I saw they had another offer for 12 points per dollar. So I canceled that booking and rebooked the exact same thing, earning more miles.
So with these tour operators, do you ever look into their safety record? With an activity as risky as this, do you ever look into that? I'm wondering, what do you guys do?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I actually do, just in case.
I mean, the probability of them operating still, if they had a terrible safety record, I think is small. And that's just me. I'm like, I checked yesterday and they're still flying and nobody died. So I'm good. Good.
I haven't looked into their safety records, but I have sometimes looked up the tour operator and see if it's cheaper to book direct. So in one example, I was in Puerto Rico a couple weeks ago and I went on they call it tropical trail ride. So horseback riding on the beach. It was $75 directly through the tour operator or $70 if you paid cash. So yes, I did pay cash for an activity, but it was worth more than any miles that I could have earned because going through Viator, it was going to be about $100. So let's say I could have earned all these miles, but so I saved $30 by paying cash and going direct instead of earning something through Viator. And so I have done that before.
Yeah, I think it's worth doing the math. If you're going to earn a lot of miles, for example, like these hotel stays that we used to have with Rocket Miles, it worked out to pay the $30 for the miles. But at $70, I don't think you'll be earning much more than what's that times 12, 84 miles, 840 miles. I'm not sure $30 is worth that. All right. So after we did paragliding, I'm like, oh, we still have half a day left. Let's squeeze in some more activities. So we went to the oldest winery in Cape Town. This winery has a wall of notary people that have requested wine from there. And one of them was Napoleon Bonaparte. Apparently, he absolutely loved their sweet wine. And when he was sick on his deathbed, apparently he was asking for this wine. I mean, like, I know there was no FedEx back then. I'm not sure how he's going to get it before he dies, but that's a story the tour guide told us. But the wine that he liked was about $200 a bottle. And I'm like, thank you, but no thank you. But the winery tour was really good. We spent about $30 for the chocolate pairing and the wine. So that's not bad. And there's also a restaurant on site. So you can also do the wine tasting and eat lunch there. Usually on these trips, we have a Jamaican sprint relay. So a few years ago when we were in Versailles, Nyla and I had a race and, she didn't make it to the finish line, but I did. So this year we had a rematch and she took the crown. She won the winery race. I'm going to blame it on the wine. There is no way she should have won that race, but I was, under the influence. So we finished off the night by going back to the hotel. We had the happy hour there, and then we went to eat some ice cream where we were escorted by the security at the hotel. A few other things we did. We went on safari. You definitely want to add that to your list in Cape Town. There's two options for safari. You can go to Kruger National Park, which is about 6 hours away, and we didn't have the time for that. So we did the day tour option for a safari, which is Aquila. Some people would call it more like driving through Lion Country Safari, but I think it was a little bit more than that. So it's a private reserve and you do get to see many of the animals from the big five. We saw 4 out of 5. We didn't find the leopard, but we saw lions, elephants, buffaloes. What am I missing? Rhino. So the only one we were missing was the leopard. But 4 out of 5, that's an 80%. That's passing in my book. So this is 2 hours away from Cape Town. They pick you up from your hotel. They feed you lunch. There was unlimited wine. Then they take you on a game drive, which is about 2 to 3 hours. The downside about going on a group tour is you never know who you've been teamed up with. First of all, on the ride there, we were with a mother-daughter pair and they talked for 2.5 bleeping hours.
Oh, dear.
I had to put my headphones in and turn up the podcast real loud just not to hear them.
Which podcast?
Let's get to the points. Yeah.
Yeah. Just checking.
Then when we got on the game drive, we were met with this Brazilian family. And first of all, you have to see the outfit. I have a little video. You can watch it here. I was like, lady, I know it's a safari, but no one said you had to wear yellow camouflage. Okay. They were obnoxiously loud, like Miami Cuban loud. So bad that the tour guide first told them, listen, these are wild animals. When we see them, you need to be quiet. And they were just going off. He literally told them, you need to shut up. Just like that. I was like,
they understood that.
Yes, they did. After a while, they settled down. We had a wonderful time. At the end, we got, I wouldn't say we were chased by the elephants, but they followed us for quite a while and they came right up to the van. I was like this close, almost able to touch them. That I think was the best part of it. It even got my son to get off his phone for like all of 5 seconds. Our last day, we did a final tour of Camps Bay, Boulder Beach, and the drive along the coast of Cape Town. So Camps Bay is a popular beach in the heart of Cape Town. And then we drove to Boulder's Beach, which is where you see the penguins. Hot tip. You can pay to go into the national park to see the penguins, but you're standing with a bunch of people on this platform. And so our guide said, I wouldn't recommend that you pay to go in there. He says you can go just down the hall there and you can see the penguins in the mangroves, which is completely free, or you can go ahead and pay. So I heard free. I didn't hear anything else after free. So I just went to the mangroves, and there is a public beach a little bit before the park that you can possibly see a few stray penguins there. So some days they're out there. When I was there, I didn't see them, but a few days later, the Deal Duchess, she's also another Points and Miles influencer. She was there and she got to see penguins on this free beach. I would 100% not pay to go there because one of the persons that was in the bus with us said they paid and they were actually disappointed.
Good call, going with the free option.
That tour was about 6 hours long. They picked us up at 8 o'clock and we spent basically the whole day. Again, in this bus, there was this lady. Where did these people come from? I don't even know. The first mistake she made, she was late back to the bus, half an hour late. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I couldn't find a bathroom. And the driver said to her, I don't care. You were late. Anyway, she was a character. Just with these group tours, sometimes it's worth it if you are so annoyed by these people to just pay for a private tour. I might consider that next time. So Boulder's Beach is great. We got to saw baboons on our way back. We also went to the Cape of Good Hope, which is the most southwestern point in the continent of Africa. And then we did the hike up to the lighthouse and the views. I keep thinking that this is the best view. And then I see another view and then like, that is the best view. There's like multiple best views when you go to South Africa. Then we ended the day at the ostrich farm. Then on the way back, I think almost everybody except this yappy lady fell asleep. She literally talked the driver to death. We spent 4 days in Cape Town. We had lots of activities. I think we got our money's worth from all of the activities that we did. I guess next week, I'll tell you about how we flew business class on South African Airways.
All right, Nicole, I got a question for you. So let's back up to the safari. So I've never been to Africa and I've always wanted to do one of these safaris, but I keep seeing these videos like on Instagram and TikTok of these animals jumping on the tour bus and like, going through the people and, potentially eating them, maybe eating the yappy lady. That could have been a good thing, Who knows? But were you ever kind of scared when you were there on the tour?
No, not at all. I did not feel scared at all. I'm not sure where you're watching these videos from, but the people must have survived, right? If you got to see the video, right? Obviously, the animal didn't eat them and the phone. So
that's a good point.
Did your driver or your tour guide have a rifle on them just in case?
I don't know. I didn't ask. We were sitting in the bus. He didn't seem to be afraid of them. I remember him coming out of the van, picking up a rhino dung. So I'm like, he felt like he was at home with them. And I'm like, sir, you're going to wash your hands, right? The lions are in a separate gated area and they're behind an electric fence. So I guess maybe those are the most dangerous. So that's why they put them separately. But even when we drove into this encampment, so to speak, at that time, they were just waking up. They were chilling. They were right beside the van. No one lunged at us. So I think you'll be okay, Mitch.
I think Mitch needs a bougie safari. He needs to do Masai Mara JW.
Exactly.
Yes.
Will. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
This was the budget, family-friendly kind, Mitch. This was a petting zoo of safaris.
So one of the things that I want to do when I go to South Africa is I want to go cage diving with the great white sharks. Was that ever something on your list? Or did you see people advertise for that activity?
It was on there, but because of time constraints and budget constraints.
I never looked into how much it is, but it is a lot, huh?
It's not a lot. It's that we have other activities activities. So I had to prioritize, right? If the budget was unlimited, then I would totally fit it in. From what I understand, it's about an hour, hour and a half from Cape Town. The one I saw was about $200 to $300 per person. It depends on if you have one with the mask or you're just using the snorkel to go into the cage. I think I would do it if I had more time and more money. And you have to look into the seasons because from what I understand, because of the whales that are in the area, sometimes the sharks are not as prominent there because, the territory, something to that effect. I remember listening to a podcast that says, if it's whale seasons, the shark are less plentiful. Just check out the seasons and find out which is the best time to go.
So you went during March. Would you say that's a good time of the year to go to South Africa?
Weather-wise, it was good. I think this is about their fall. They're about to get into their winter seasons. And our driver told us it does get really cold, maybe down to 40 degrees, but it doesn't snow. I mean, for me, 40 degrees is pretty cold, but it doesn't snow. I think maybe if you went in July and August, you might have to put on a light sweater.
So this was a dream come true destination for you, right, Nicole? What did your family think about Cape Town?
I try to have these discussions at the end of the day. Like I see people on TV and they're like, what are the top things you did today? And then they're like, the gelato was good. But then later on in some random discussion, they'll be like, do you remember that time we were driving down the road and we saw the baboons? And that's when I know. You have to give it a couple months. It has to it has to stew.
Yeah.
But I think for sure everyone loved the paragliding. Everyone came down and they were all smiles. So the paragliding, you can opt for a video. They record the video anyways, and at the end they let you look at it, and if you decide you can purchase it. I think I caught James smiling in one of the videos, Mitch.
Oh, let's see it.
Not for a very long time, but I think there was a smile there.
So Cape Town has always been on my bucket list of places that I want to go to. City specifically, I think I'd love it there. But how do you compare that to Johannesburg? Because you went there as well, right?
Yes. So Johannesburg is more of the financial district. We stayed in what was called the CBD, the Central Business District, and it's not as touristy as Cape Town. We stayed at the Hyatt House in Rosebank, and that was across the street from a mall. So going to Johannesburg, I felt like I was going to visit someone who lived there. I wouldn't go there as a destination. I remember, funny enough, when we were in Amsterdam, we met a couple who had just come back from Africa. And they're like, when you go to South Africa, spend a lot of time in Cape Town and maybe 1 or 2 days maximum in Johannesburg. So we got there at night. It's about half an hour from the airport, and homegirl messed up the time again. I don't know how many times I have to mess this up. I booked my driver for what I thought was 6 a.m., but apparently it was for 6 p.m. And so we took an Uber and the driver was waiting for us at the airport. Sorry.
Did they call you and yell at you again?
Again, right? He did not. In fact, they're trying to see if they can give me a refund for the miscommunication. So fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes.
So how did you get from Cape Town to Johannesburg?
So to get from Cape Town to Johannesburg, we flew a new airline called Air Sapphire. It's not a low budget airline, but I would compare it to maybe more like a Southwest type of airline. And it was a decent fare. I remember the flight being so cheap, I actually spent $7 to get the window seat in the exit aisle. I was like, I'm splurging. We didn't get served a meal, but it was only a 2-hour flight. The flight attendants were really nice, so I would recommend them. I remember reading about Airlinks and that they always had problems, so I decided to try this one instead. So we flew in at night to Johannesburg, and then the following morning, we did a township tour. So we did a township tour in Soweto, and Soweto is one of the biggest townships in Johannesburg. Soweto is where Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu are from. These are 2 Nobel Prize winners. In fact, there's a famous street in Johannesburg, and it's the only street in the world that has 2 Nobel Prize Peace winners on that street. So the tour guide did take us there. Let me back up. So we took an Uber from Johannesburg to Soweto. And when you're driving in there, it looks a little sus. You know what I'm talking about? And so I started to make conversation with the driver, and I'm like, have you been here before? Da, da, da. He's like, I don't come to the townships. I was like, okay. And I'm thinking how am I going to get an Uber to come back and pick me up and take me out of the townships? He's like, don't worry, you'll get a ride. I'm like, okay. So he drops us off at this theater, and I'm supposed to meet this random tour guide, but you get there and there's a whole bunch of guys just, shooting the breeze underneath a tree. And I'm like, we are about to get kidnapped. It wasn't that bad. He texted me, he sent me his picture, and it was probably one of the nicest persons I've met. He took us on a tour for about 6 hours. He explained, how apartheid worked. He talked about some of the people that fought through the apartheid, some students that died during a protest. It really hit home to hear like firsthand experience of what really happened in Johannesburg. But the tour ended on a good note. We got to visit Nelson Mandela's house. We also got to visit Desmond Tutu's house, and they're all on the same street. And so it turned the frown kind of upside down from a sad story to an uplifting story. And he also took us to this restaurant, and we had something called bunny chow, which I thought was bunnies, but it's not.
Which would have been okay.
I mean, it could have been, but
I've had rabbit before.
Oh dear. So bunny chow is like, it's like a quarter or half of a loaf of bread. It's this massive sandwich. And I think I had the chicken or the beef one, and it's just drizzled in sauce. So it's an egg, it's French fries, it's a chicken, all in a quarter loaf of a sandwich. And it literally was $3. And I'm like, why here in the US, a little bit of food is so expensive, but this massive sandwich is only $3. So you have to hold it like this, and he's like, I'm watching you and I want to see you get a bite of everything in your first bite. My son devoured the sandwich. Needless to say, when we got in the Uber, he was asleep. If you go to Cape Town, take a day and go to Johannesburg, spend a day there, do the township tours. It seems uncomfortable at first, but we had no issues. Nobody bothered us. The tour guide, it seemed like he was the mayor of Soweto, because every time we turned the corner, someone was like, hey, Webo, and everybody knew him. So we had a good time. We went back to the hotel, we checked out the mall a little bit, and then we left the following day to go to Brazil. Tell you a little bit more about that next time.
Well, Nicole, it looks like you had an incredible time. I'm a little bit jealous because I have yet to been anywhere in South Africa, so I really want to go on a trip. So maybe you can take us next time, or at least give us some good tips.
Will do. Absolutely.
All right. Sounds good. Oh, by the way, are you ready, Nicole?
I'm always ready.
Is everyone else ready?
For what? Oh, the game?
Evidently, we didn't practice again.
Sure.
All right. Let's cue Norma. It's time. Are you ready?
Let's
Yeah.
And now it's time for what? Have it. Had it. Or...
I love your guys' meh. All right, we still got the theme music. We're still here. Everyone's still around. All right, we practiced a little better this time, and we're going to do much better. I promise. This is our game show. It's called Want It, Have It, Had It, or... Meh. We didn't practice. All right.
I don't know what good meh is. Someone tell me, what's a good meh?
It's in the face. It's in the expression.
All right, this was such a hit last time, and we had no idea it would be this well received, but we got a ton of comments and requests to bring it back. So here it is, and here's how it works. It's very simple. I've got the let's get to the points. It's the ice bucket this week instead of the fishbowl. And I put in a couple of different credit card suggestions from all you viewers and listeners. And here's how it is. We're going to draw one out. We're going to go around the room, and we're going to say, do we want it, have it, had it, or...
Meh. It's never good enough for you, Mitch.
We'll get there. One day we will get there. We will get there. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. First one. All right, we're going to pull it out. Ooh, this is a good one. We've got the Wells Fargo autograph journey card. Brand new. Do we want it, have it, had it, or meh? Nicole, you go first.
It's more of a meh. I'm thinking of the 524 slot. If it was a business card, I would definitely get it. But I don't know. For the amount of points that it's giving, I'd just get another ink card or another Amex card. What do you think?
So that Wells Fargo card for me is, because I have plenty of other cards that I would rather get before that one. If I was at the 50 card mark and I've ran out of options, I would want it. But for now, it's, What about you, Serena?
So I want it. It's another way for me to diversify into other banks. It's a new sign-up bonus I've never had before, and I love how they have transfer partners, and I'm way under 524, so I've got a slot for it ready to go. I'm just waiting for our affiliate link. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, it's a wanted for me too, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I know Wells Fargo, they're probably never going to get their act together. So for me, this is probably as good as it's going to get, right? So that's why I want this card. 60,000 sign-up bonus points, what is it? Avianca, British, Air France, Flying Blue. I've learned enough from you guys with those programs to where I could use those points very easily in one of those. And I'm one of those persons that kind of goes back and forth on the Chase 524. So I'm kind of on Chase. So yeah, I think I want this card. All right, you guys ready for another round?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wrong answer, Serena. Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. The ice bucket. All right, here we go.
I'm practicing my meow.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. I think this will have some good discussion here. The American Airlines cards, Barclays versus Citi. Which one is good? Maybe they want us to debate it a little bit. Do we want it, have it, had it, or meh? Nicole, you go first.
I want all of them. I want them over and over and twice on Sunday. Okay? Fresh off Q Suites. I want them more and more and more. I've had it. I want it. It will never be a meh. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. How about you, Miguel?
So I have all 4 American Airlines card. The business and the personal from Barclays and the business and the personal from Citi. I want them all. I've had them all. I think that if you only want the sign-up bonus, the Barclays is a clear choice. Is the easiest way to get a bunch of miles without a high spending requirement. But if you want like the Admirals Club access, if you fly American or not, then maybe the Citi card. I have the executive card that comes with the Admirals Club access. So what about you, Serena?
I've had it, I have it, and I want it. So I've had the Citi cards multiple times in the past. I've had the Barclays cards multiple times. I currently have the Aviator Red cards from Barclays. I just tried to open the Aviator Red for my dad and my husband today, but both went pending. I don't know what's going to happen with those. I want to get back into the Citi cards when I can too. So they're all on my list. And it's because American Airlines miles are so valuable. You can't transfer to American Airlines from any of the bank partners. So this is my way of earning American Airlines miles through sign-up bonuses. How about you, Mitch?
So I've had them all, and I have the Barclays AA card right now, but I haven't went back for the Citi cards yet. For me, the Barclays card, I think the only maybe good thing that comes with it, is you get like the priority boarding and the baggage. But the other way that you can subsidize the annual fee on that a little bit is they give you the Wi-Fi credit. Maybe that might be a little bit of a difference if you only want to get one or the other. But, I think like everyone else said, get them all. It's like a kid in a candy shop. Just go for it. You ready? Another round? We got a lot in here. Miguel hasn't given
That's
up yet.
That's what I'm worried about.
Ooh, this is a good one. I think you're going to like it. The Wyndham Business Earner Card from Barclays. Do we want it, have it, had it, or meh? Nicole, go first.
In the beginning of this journey, I wanted it, but with all these casinos using their status match options, it's more of a meh for me. So remember I went to Atlantic City and I got the free cruise and Atlantis, and I haven't only used one of those options. So I'm like, if I get this again, will I use the options that come with it? So I'm on the fence about this one. Meh. So I want Mia want. How about you, Miguel?
This is a meh for me. I think the only good things about the Wyndham Business Earner Card is the casino status match, which I personally think that might be going away in the next year. So other than that, they do have like a good multiplier for earning points on gas, on fuel. So I think you get like 8 Wyndham points per dollar. So those are the only 2 things. And I don't go to Vegas enough to justify doing some casino status match for that. So what about you, Serena?
It's also a meh for me too. This card actually has a high offer right now. It's offering 100,000 points, and I think that's the highest it's ever seen. But it's still not high on my list. Maybe I'll get it eventually one day, but it is a very, very low priority because there are other cards that are higher on my list. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, with all of you guys. It's a meh, maybe a slightly higher meh. For me, just a couple of reasons. The points, they can be valuable for Vacasa vacation rentals. hotels. And, since I'm in Vegas a lot these days, because, last week I told you all about staying at the Rio Hotel, it's got that complimentary Wyndham diamond status for Caesars and everything. So I don't know, free cruises, but I'm a there for me. So
that's a new one.
All right. Here we go. We got another one. We got a lot. You guys, there was quite a few votes and suggestions on our Instagram and YouTube page for these. So, all right, here we go. Next one, Chase Sapphire card. Do we want it, have it, had it, or meh? And I just realized it's Sapphire, not preferred or reserved. So let's just go with that. So one of the Sapphire products, Nicole.
So I had it, I have it, and now I'm like, no more restaurants? Yeah. I mean, I just got it for the restaurants. Hadn't even been a few months yet. And I'm like, darn it. Best believe I'm going to get my money's worth. We visited 2 restaurants on this trip. So I'm like maximizing. I love these cards. Even before I got the reserve, I had the preferred. I love the trip protection that it offers. I love the ability that it gives you to transfer points, especially if you have the ink cards. I love it. I'm just disappointed in the moment. How about you, Miguel?
Yeah, so I had the Sapphire Preferred, and now I have it for the Reserve. I upgraded, and for me, it's one of my workhorse cards. It's a consistent card. I always have it because I think it's great earnings. And even though they're losing the restaurant option for Priority Pass, I don't even have a lounge in El Paso, so it doesn't really affect me a whole lot. So.
You keep reminding us.
What about you, Serena?
I have it. I have the Sapphire Preferred card, and I think that every household should have at least one Sapphire card in their household to at least transfer to partners. Yeah. So if you don't have it, check out our link in the show notes. How about you, Mitch?
So for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I had it. And for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, we currently have it. And I'll be honest, the only reason that we have the Preferred is really because we'll get a Chase Ink business card every now and then. So we'll need ways to transfer points over to Hyatt or whatever. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it would have been had it, don't need it anymore. That's the only reason why that we have the Chase Preferred. I'm with Nicole. The restaurant's gone. I think it's time for the card to go. It's, it had its day, and now we're moving on.
I'm not moving on.
It's like Miguel's moving on.
Miguel is committed to this card.
So, Nicole, the reason why you upgraded to the Reserve was for the restaurants. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh. Yes. Yeah. So you're really going to have to evaluate whether you want to downgrade or keep it.
Oh, I don't. I have already evaluated.
Okay, we know.
She is gone.
Oh, okay. Wow. So we're downgrading back to the Preferred.
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes you love it and sometimes you leave it.
All right, you guys ready for the next round? We got more.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Next one is the Chase Ritz-Carlton card. Ooh, I got an opinion about this. Do you want it, have it, had it, or Nicole?
So I wanted it, but I'm once bitten, twice shy. Because I wanted it for the unlimited access to the restaurants and unlimited authorized user access. But now that they're taking away the options for the priority pass to have access to certain restaurants, it's not as valuable to me as it was before. It's a meh for me. And I'm not a Marriott girl, so the free night certificate for the $85,000, it's valuable, but not enough for me to open up this card. How about you, Miguel?
So I had it, and I think a lot of the benefits that it has, like travel protections and priority pass, it overlaps with the Sapphire Reserve, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you to have both. And the other thing is that this is actually a card that was under my wife's name, so I'd have to get her to call to upgrade. Otherwise, if it was under my name, I'd probably upgrade and downgrade all the time. But I have to pick and choose what I have to make her call for. So had it, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. What about you, Serena?
Previous to Chase eliminating restaurants from Priority Pass, I actually really wanted this card, but it has moved further down the list. So it's not a wanted anymore. Maybe in the future, I do think it would be cool to use an $85K Marriott certificate. And I do like the travel protections that it comes with the card, but I do agree there's a lot of overlap with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. So I currently have it. And I think when that annual fee comes due in a couple months, it's going to be a had it for me, because they ditched the restaurants. That was the main reason I had it. And I think I told you guys this, but I got like 10 people on my account, as authorized users because I wanted to give them lounge access and with the restaurants, and it was a great priority pass. But yeah, I think I'm going to cut it loose because it's got an annual fee of $450. Yeah, you get $300 of that back in the travel credit, but is that 85,000 point certificate?
Yes.
Is it worth?
Yes, I agree with Miguel.
So you're saying yes, that 85,000 point certificate is worth $150.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, I don't know if there's anywhere I want to stay for one night for 85,000 points in Marriott. That's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm torn.
I mean, it's a free night. Even if you don't stay at 85, you don't always have to maximize,
Says Nicole.
I'm learning, okay? I'm learning.
I mean, I'll say I have had pretty good luck getting them pretty much to reimburse anything of that $300 annual travel credit. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. Oh, I don't know. Have it, had it, somewhere in between.
So you have a lot to think about, Mitch. Hopefully you have some time. But for those of you who aren't aware, Chase announced that with their Priority Pass, they're eliminating restaurants. So beginning on July 1st, you will not be able to use your Priority Pass through the Chase cards to visit restaurants. So it's a good time for all of you to also evaluate whether you want to keep those Chase cards that have the Priority Pass attached to it.
Sad day, sad day.
Yeah, sad day. So what's kind of left if people do want that restaurant benefit with the Priority Pass? So there's the Capital One VentureX business card, right? Is there anything else?
I think there's like a Bank of America card or something. There's a couple, but they're not as well talked about or popular.
Right. So there's the Bank of America Premier card, and then there's also the UBS Infinite card. Those are two other options. Yeah, no one really uses those cards. I mean, nobody really talks about those cards a lot. But if you really want Priority Pass with restaurants, you could look at those.
If you live in Miami with a couple of restaurant options, maybe you should consider getting into this UBS or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm willing to bet that the days are numbered on that Capital One card.
So I think that pretty much answers it. I mean, do we even really know what's left at this point? Just a couple options. So are we ready? Good news, Miguel. We're almost to the bottom of the ice bucket. We're almost there.
We should have a round 2.
This is round 2.
No, we should have a round 3.
Draw the next one out. Ooh, this one, I remember this one. This one was requested. The IHG Premier card from Chase. Do you want it, have it, had it, or meh? Nicole.
Is there something below meh? Like it's not even on my Don't want it. Miguel, tell me you don't want this, right?
I do want this. No, I
really, with that brand new Hyatt status, you want this?
I do. If Chase would have me, I would get it 100%. And the reason is because by having this card, you can get the 4th free night. So you know how with Hilton and Marriott, you get the 5th free night when redeeming points. But with the IHG, you can do that at the 4th free night, which is essentially a 25% discount when you redeem points. But you can only do that if you hold one of their cards, 2 of their cards. And then they always have sales. They're always selling points for, half a cent per point. So you can be buying points for these incredible stays and getting the 4th free night. I want it.
Miguel, why would Chase not have you?
So the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 cards have gone to the reconsideration line every time. So I know I'm just like barely there. I got to make up with Chase somehow. Maybe I could get it, but it'd probably be another year or 2.
Do you bother reconning or do you just say F you?
I do. I mean, that's how I've gotten the last 3 or 4 cards, but I've had to call in every time. So I know I'm like borderline barely passing, Mm-hmm. If they would let me swap out one of my cards for it, I would take it even without a bonus. Like if I could swap out my United card for this, I would do it without a bonus.
Wow.
Even without a bonus? Bonus?
Yeah.
No, I want a bonus.
I want a bonus too. But if that would be the only way for me to get it right now, they're like, you know what, just give us one of those. That's fine. I would do it.
You can be IHG, what is it called? Platinum?
Ambassador.
Oh, ambassador, yes.
Last year I was IHG Diamond Ambassador and I didn't use it at all for anything. But if I would have had this card, maybe I could have.
Okay, so IHG, I've had it and I actually want it again. It's lower on my priority, but I do want it eventually. Ever since I saw pictures of the Intercontinental in Shanghai Wonderland, I've always wanted to stay there. So it is on my list for Intercontinental, for Kimptons. I would love to have IHG points. How about you, Mitch?
Okay, I think I'm Team Nicole on this one. So what's lower than meh, Nicole? What is it? What do we establish?
Put it in the trash.
Oh, Okay, I'll go with that. You know, both of us, my husband Paul and I, we both still have the original. I think it's the Chase IHG Rewards Club Select credit card, if that's right. And it's the one that comes with the $49 annual fee. And you know what? I'm okay keeping that one because it comes with that free night. And we'll probably use that free night when we go to Singapore and we stay right there at the Crown Plaza at Changi Airport. I mean, that hotel probably goes for like $300 a night. So paying $49 a night. Yeah, but I'm in no hurry. I'm like you, Nicole. No big rush to get this card or get another sign-up bonus for it. It's just like, yeah, I don't really care about IHG.
All right. How many more in the bucket?
Okay. Do we still have Miguel with us? Is he still here? We've got 3 left. All right, here we go. Ready? Oh, this is a good one. I think this is a good one. The Hilton Aspire card from American Express. Do you want it, have it, had it, or yeah? Nicole?
I like the hotel with the other H name. So it's yeah. Now, again, I'm fresh. I'm just leave it at me. I'm not maybe American Express can come out with a Hyatt card and that would make my day. Miguel, you can't possibly want IHG and want Hilton and want Hyatt. I feel like that kind of marriage is illegal in most countries.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to say meh. I'm going to say for most people, it should be a want it because it's a overpowered card. For me personally, it's a meh. But because I don't really stay at Hilton a lot, I think it's a good card, especially if you stay at Hilton. You should definitely have this in your wallet. But for me personally, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm going to pass on this one. What about you, Serena?
Oh, I have it. Hilton has so many aspirational properties. We've got Waldorf Astoria Maldives, Los Cabos, Seychelles. They have LXR. They have Conrad. I just love their high-end properties. And this card gives diamond status. And I think that to stay at these properties, you need to have diamond status for the upgrades. I also love the free night award that it comes with. You even get it when you apply for the card. And you get it every year thereafter. I love the Hilton Resort credits. You get $400 of that. And I also love the $200 airline credits. So for me, it's worth it to have it and to keep it. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, we had it. And we did a couple of years. We went to the Maldives there. We went to the Waldorf and we went to the Conrad. So it came in really handy there, just like you were talking about, Serena, with the Hilton aspirational properties. But would I get it again? You know, we haven't been staying at a lot of Hiltons. We've been really focusing on Hyatt. So I don't know. It's not high on my list, but I can see how the benefits would be very useful for someone if they had it. But I wasn't a fan of, you know, the annual fee going up and the changes that they made in the past year or so on the card. So I'm kind of in the middle of it.
Wait a minute, Mitch. Aren't you going back to the Waldorf Maldives at some point?
Yeah, we are. I have it booked, but here's the thing. I can't find any business class seats for our trip, so I'm probably going to cancel it. So
he ain't flying coach, people.
That's right.
Nope.
Definitely not over an ocean.
That is way too far to go in coach to go to the Maldives. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up canceling it, but we're almost to the bottom. 2 more left. All right, here we go. We got the Chase Marriott Bonvoy credit card. I think I know how Nicole's going to feel about this one. Do you want it, have it, had it, or meh? Nicole?
All right, so I want it with an asterisk. When they had the 5 free nights, I was like, this is a good deal. I can use it. But being that my travel has been planned out for most of the year already, I'm like, where would I use these free nights? I'm going to go with Serena's type answer. I would want it, but it's low on my priority list. All right, Mr. Marriott, what do you think?
Of course I want it. So my wife actually has the Boundless. So I don't know which card they were talking about because there's like 3 personal cards with Chase. But let's just settle on the Boundless, which I think is the best value for what you pay because you get a free night certificate for $100 a year. Yeah, I would say I want it, but I mean, if Chase will have me, I'll take it. What about you, Serena?
I want it, but it's low on my priority list.
Did I say it?
I've actually had it before. And I've had the business version of it too. And I do want to accumulate more Marriott points and get into Marriott again. So, and I really considered it during the 5 free night promo that they were having. And I really wanted to get it, but it was just too low on that list. Too low.
Too low.
So maybe when it comes back, I'll be ready for it. But I do want it again. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everyone here. So, when you're in 2-player mode in your house, it kind of changes the dynamics of how you look at these cards, right? So Polrit, he currently has the Chase Marriott Bonvoy credit card. And you're right, Miguel, there's a lot of B's to all these cards. So I don't even know which one he really has. I just know the one that he has is like probably one of the first credit cards he got. I want to say it was like 10 years ago. So that's pretty much the only reason I'm kind of hanging on to it, is a little bit of sentimental value, a little bit of, credit history, because I'm too lazy to kind of, convert it to a fee-free card. If you're asking about myself, I really have no desire to get like 5 free nights if I sign up for the card. So I think I'm a meh on that. All right. Final one. Here we go. Serena, you're going to like this one. The American Express Business Platinum Card. Do you want it, have it, had it, or, yeah, Nicole, I know you have it.
I see it. And I like it. And I want it. I want it all. I want it almost every time it comes around. The only thing that stops me from getting it all the time is that $695. Well, I know you can recoup most of the cost, but you still have to come up with the money up front. So I've had 3 of these. Actually, Miguel, I don't know if you remember, you actually influenced me into getting this card the first time. You were like, the math works out, and you carry the 1 over here and then you multiply over here. And I was like, okay, Miguel, that makes sense. Sold. I'll do it again and again and again. So I think I would get this card again. I'm waiting to hear what happens with those people and the 250,000 point bonus. There were some rumors of some shutdowns and stuff like that. So I'm playing it safe, because American Express is actually my oldest line of credit. So, I have to be really nice to them. And so if it comes around again, 190, 250, I might go for it. How about you, Miguel?
Yeah, I think the question should have been, for this particular card, how many times have you had it? Because I have also had 3 of these cards. So at some point I had 3 at the same time, but right now I'm back down to 1 only. So I'm in the same boat, Nicole. Like, if there's a nice sign-up bonus, I'll get it again and again and again. How many times have you had it, Serena?
Oh, gosh. At one time I had 5.
Times 4.
Now I have just 2. I've downgraded. But I do love this card. And the reason why Mitch said I would like this one is because I'm still in pop-up jail on the consumer side with Amex. But Amex still lets me play on the business side. And I play with them a lot on the business side. And I like this card because, and I think it's great for people who are going to use the credits. One of the things that might be going away at the end of the year is the Dell credits. If you look on the landing page of the Amex Business Platinum card, it says Dell through the end of the year. And so people are thinking that it might be gone next year. So think about that if you're thinking about this card. For me, I actually also like the wireless credit as well. And I've had to file a claim on a phone that was broken in our household, and getting money back from that claim was very easy. So I put my monthly wireless bills on this card so that in case there's a cracked phone screen or our phones break, then I can make a claim with them, and I am confident that they will pay me back. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I want to go back to what Miguel said, and I think the question should be, how many times have we had this card? Because for me, I've actually lost count. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 of these that I've had over the past couple of years. I was getting kind of in this thing where I would get targeted, and they would send these mail offers saying, you're pre-approved, get this sign-up bonus, and I'd say, sure, why not? Do it. I think the last one I got was probably, I want to say about a year ago, and I timed it really lucky when I got it in December. So I got the credit 3 times. If you're really smart about how you apply for it, you can get that airline credit and a couple of those credits 3 times before the annual fee posts. So would I get it again? Absolutely. I mean, I think the one thing, maybe 2 things that draw me to the card is what, Serena just talked about, those Dell credits, because, there's always something on Dell that I can get. And the second thing is I really like that 35% back rebate that you get when you book your flight with points in business class or first class. I've been pretty successful with that, to where I booked a flight sometimes we did it on Hawaiian Airlines and a couple of others as well, of where I booked it and the points amount in cash came out to about the same equivalent than what I would have paid with points. And then I get a double dip, because then when I fly that segment, I also get the mileage credit back. So that's the one thing that kind of really draws me to the American Express Platinum card. All right, so do you think the game show was successful this time?
Is that a question for us?
I know.
Yeah, I was waiting for the yeah.
I'm going to go with yes.
I need to hear the music.
It comes out in the edit.
Yeah, it all comes out there. That's right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sending your suggestions. Hopefully you like the game show again this time. Let us know in the comments what you thought or if you have any questions as well. All right. That's going to do it for now. I want to thank all of our hosts. It's Serena.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Miguel.
Later.
And it's always good to see you too, Nicole.
See you guys next week.
And I'm Mitch Shannon. You can find out more about us at our website, letsgettothepoints.com. And we'll all see you here next Friday. Thanks for watching and listening.
Let's get to the points.com.